Are EVs a scam? Toyota's CEO unleashes shocking alert, infuriating EV makers and delighting traditional car fans. Toyota's new CEO, Koji, is evidently not a fan of the all-electric movement and strongly opposes the idea of transitioning entirely to EVs. This raises a question. Why is Toyota now pushing for EVs? It appears that global leadership is pressuring them into it. Despite this push towards EVs, Toyota is covertly experimenting with an innovative fuel type that could potentially upend the EV movement and save internal combustion engines from being phased out. Why is Toyota's CEO so critical of EVs? What is the hidden truth about electrification that the world might be unaware of? And when can we expect Toyota's new alternative fuel? Here's the full story. It began during the tenure of Toyota's former CEO, Akio Toyoda, who had to step down due to his reluctance to fully adopt EVs. Why would the CEO of a major global carmaker resist what many view as the inevitable future of the industry? Akio Toyoda took a bold stance, aligning himself with the silent majority in the automotive industry who were doubtful about an EV-dominant future. He consistently expressed his belief in a more diversified approach, which included exploring various powertrain technologies such as hybrids, plug-in hybrids, hydrogen fuel vehicles, Toyota's secret fuel project, and battery electric vehicles. He was quoted, "People in the auto industry mostly belong to a silent majority. They are questioning if it's really right to go all in on EVs. They feel it's a trend, so they don't speak up. The correct path is still not clear. We shouldn't restrict ourselves to just one option." He believed that while many were considering EVs as the only route to carbon neutrality, the real enemy was carbon emissions, not the type of powertrain. The new CEO then made headlines with a stark warning to global leaders about the repercussions of completely banning ICE vehicles. More details on that will follow. According to Akio Toyoda, electric vehicles were not the sole answer to achieving global carbon neutrality. Instead, he advocated for a diverse portfolio of vehicles, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, battery electric, and fuel cell vehicles. Admittedly, his background in manufacturing combustion engines influenced his perspective, but he also raised practical concerns. This stance is now finding support among several major automakers. His apprehension included potential shortages of critical materials like lithium and nickel, which are essential for batteries, anticipating supply chain disruptions in the coming decade. Toyota also questioned the rapid pace at which regulators expected the transition to EVs, pointing out challenges like infrastructure limitations, varying consumer preferences across regions, and affordability issues. While some might interpret Toyota's position as resistance to change, under Akio's leadership, the company did not entirely turn its back on electric vehicles. They allocated a significant $70 billion to electrification over 9 years, though this was modest compared to some competitors. However, Toyota's focus was clear: diversification in powertrain options to cater to a wide array of customers. But then, Akio Toyota's tenure came to an abrupt end, largely due to his views on electrification. The 67-year-old, who wasn't just a CEO but a symbol of Toyota's philosophy, believed in giving consumers the freedom to choose, rather than forcing EVs on everyone. However, his approach led to Toyota being labeled as one of the most obstructionist companies in 2022, alongside the likes of ExxonMobil. Toyota's first EV model, the BZ4X, faced setbacks with safety recalls, highlighting the challenges in their EV journey. In stark contrast to other manufacturers boasting significant EV sales, Toyota's initial EV sales in the US constituted less than 1% of their total, with only about 1,200 units sold during the early stages. The former CEO remarked, "My deep passion for cars makes me somewhat old-fashioned. Regarding digitalization, electric vehicles, and connected cars, my limitation is that I am, at heart, a car guy." The entry of Koji Sato as the new CEO brought expectations of a shift towards a fully electric lineup. However, he surprised many by expressing Toyota's continued interest in their new fuel development. More on this shortly. At Toyota's annual shareholder meeting, there was significant pressure for a more aggressive pivot to EVs, but Toyota's response was firm. Their goal was carbon neutrality, not just the adoption of EVs. Executive Vice President Masahiko Maeda reiterated Toyota's commitment to offering a variety of vehicle choices. Despite this, European and American investors seemed less convinced. Investment funds like Academic Pension openly challenged Toyota, criticizing their negative stance on climate lobbying and accusing them of undermining efforts to phase out combustion engines. These sentiments were shared by other major entities like AP7, Storebrand, and the Church of England. The public and environmental activists have also also raised their voices against Toyota. Greenpeace Japan organized a protest at Toyota's headquarters, demanding an end to fossil fuel car production. This followed Toyota receiving the lowest grade from Greenpeace in their 2021 evaluation of global automakers' efforts towards decarbonization, reflecting a dent in their environmental reputation. Yet, Toyota set an ambitious target of selling 3.5 million battery EVs annually by 2030, though they still trail behind their peers in terms of EV sales as a percentage of total sales. Despite the consistent approach towards EV transition by Toyota's leadership, they face mounting pressures both internally and externally. Notably, Toyota isn't the only manufacturer with reservations about a complete shift to EVs. Other industry giants like Stellantis, BMW, Porsche, Honda, and Mercedes share similar views. BMW's CEO Oliver Zipse has warned against relying solely on EVs, citing concerns over increased dependence on a few countries, especially considering that China controls most raw materials for batteries. He stressed that there's still a market for combustion engine cars, especially for those who can't switch to EVs immediately. Tavares, the head of Stellantis and Jeep, echoed this sentiment, cautioning that an abrupt ban on combustion vehicles could have far-reaching social implications, potentially making car ownership a luxury unaffordable for the middle class. Honda's CEO, with over 30 years in engine development, acknowledged the personal challenge posed by the shift to EVs, but emphasized decisions must be based on the company's best interests. And now, for the groundbreaking development from Toyota, the introduction of their ammonia engine. This innovation, developed in partnership with GAC Motors, addresses many issues associated with combustion engines. Its most striking feature is its compatibility with existing ICE vehicles, offering a lifeline against potential government bans. This engine, comprised of 1 nitrogen and 3 hydrogen molecules, offers a fascinating alternative with its carbon-free composition. GAC's prototype, co-developed with Toyota, can operate on liquid ammonia, a technology previously limited to larger machinery. This engine produces 161 horsepower with 90% lower carbon emissions, representing a significant leap in automotive technology. Adding to this narrative, Toyota has been testing a new vehicle that garnered significant attention at a recent endurance race in Suzuka Circuit, Japan. Koji Sato, Toyota's CEO, has expressed the need for an EV-first approach, while also keeping hydrogen as a viable future option. He suggested that for hydrogen to become a key player, advancements in production and transport supply chains are necessary. While Toyota is progressing towards EVs, with plans for a dedicated EV platform by 2026 and an aim to sell about 3.5 million EVs globally by 2030, they haven't given up on hydrogen. Sato's remarks indicate Toyota's broader vision of being prepared for various future energy scenarios. One of their latest ventures into green technology is a Corolla powered by liquid hydrogen, marking hydrogen-fueled vehicles' entry into auto racing. This car, which participated in the Super Taikyu 24-hour race at Fuji Speedway, is more an experimental venture than a commercial product. Unlike typical EVs, this hydrogen Corolla runs on a combustion engine but burns liquid hydrogen instead of gasoline. Despite criticism for its gradual approach to electrification, Toyota's new roadmap is ambitious. They plan to launch EVs with over 600 miles of range by 2026 and aim for around 900 miles post-2028, starting with a model under their Lexus brand. This vehicle will feature a state-of-the-art lithium-ion battery. Toyota's future strategies include adopting gigacasting technologies for faster vehicle production and creating ultra-aerodynamic designs. Toyota recently also launched their best-selling car, the Camry, as a hybrid electric vehicle. At a recent launch of its new BV factory, Toyota vowed its next-generation electric vehicles will deliver longer range and faster charging at a lower price. The Japanese automaker now says its new EVs, due out in 2026, will feature nearly 500 miles of range, which clearly shows they will keep EVs as a priority. While electric and hydrogen technologies are clearly a focus, Toyota is not abandoning internal combustion engines, continuing their development to offer a diverse range of options to consumers worldwide. What do you think about Toyota's strategy? Should they fully commit to combustion engines, or do you support their pursuit of alternative solutions to the energy crisis? Share your thoughts in the comments below.